Hey everybody, this is Scott Bowman, the creator behind Idea Brickworks, here with another Brick Building Together Apart. I know I say this a lot, but this really is true. I am super excited about this week's guest, a good friend of mine, Kevin Hinkle, a legend in his own mind, and also one of the pillars of the AFOL community. And I'm not going to actually, because he's basically been on every kind of show possible on YouTube. I'm just the latest person that he is granted his interview. So I want to spend a little more time talking about kind of post Lego. And so I'm not going to spend a heck of a lot of time before that. But anyway, so we'll be talking, we'll be building, we'll be doing all that kind of stuff. So again, I am joined by Sam. Sam is in the UK. And how is Sam doing today?
Sam's good. Sam's been working today and still keeping an eye on things whilst things are ticking over here in the UK. But for those concerned, I only have 3 more days until I'm out of quarantine. So
let us know how life is on the other side.
I'll be happy once I'm out.
Sam has been in quarantine in the US. Then we had an event. Then he went back home and quarantined there. And so,
oh man,
yeah.
Let us know what it's like to leave your country.
And then, Sam, what are you going to do today? I guess I should ask.
I'm doing my first architecture set ever, actually. Buckingham Palace.
Oh, that's appropriate.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. Entirely appropriate.
And the Buckingham Palace was part of a change of materials. And Kevin, you saw the Lego house tree and the dinosaurs. Well, that was part of that trade. I traded him a Buckingham Palace plus the Saturn V. And I'm not going to shame you too much, Kevin, about giving away your set, or not giving away, selling your Saturn V.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought about you the whole time.
So anyway, and then we are joined at this point by one of our regulars. So I will add in Mr. Chambers.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
What are you going to do today?
What was that?
What are you going to do today?
Well, I am working on a Delta IV launch vehicle. This is designed by, his username is Muscovite Sandwich. So I bought his design from him. I need to meet this guy because he has a lot of great rocket designs. So I'm trying to get him to be on my show. What was that?
Sounds like somebody should be on my show.
Yeah, seriously.
Username alone.
Yeah. Muscovite Sandwich. Yeah, I know he's on the Bricks in Space group a lot, and so I'm trying to build this before the launch of Perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, this is my Curiosity rover, but Perseverance looks mostly the same. And it's launching on a Delta IV, Atlas V.
Atlas V.
And so that's why I'm building this sucker. Anyway.
Cool. Before we get into the interview part, I'll show what I'm building. So for my 60 birthday, yes, I'm that old. Let me get that in the camera. So I'm going to build the.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Nice. And what's really funny is, and I guess why I really wanted this one is that I had that original pirate ship, and my girls just loved it. And I can't think how many times it was taken apart and put together, and the pirates played with, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so it's kind of got a little special to me.
I've been really impressed with that set.
Did you
I don't
buy it?
have it. No, I did not buy it. I'm sticking with my plans on where my Lego budget is going in 2020. And I'm doing it very successfully, I might add. But I've watched many a review and I've examined the details, and I think that's a real home run on that set in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and it looks a friend of mine who might come on, Peter. He actually did he couldn't afford it either, so he built the whole thing in studio.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And then he's done a couple of stop motion, or not stop motion. He's done a couple of videos of that, using the studio model. So
yeah, I guess I didn't quite realize. Is there, aside from minifigures and I guess the sales, is there a lot of exclusive parts in that set that you can't get elsewhere? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, except for a gray bearded Redbeard.
Right. I do. So I did buy that minifig.
Yeah.
I spent what was it? $11, and I bought the minifig off of Bricklink. So that's what I bought.
So I'm going to let you talk in a minute, but here is. I did want to say thank you again.
It just flashed before my eyes.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, that was fun, and that was a simpler time, Scott.
That was a simpler time.
That was when I didn't have an email in my inbox every day asking for another one.
Well, and again, we talked about the post Lego, and
yeah.
Again, Kevin used to work for Lego, the Lego Group, and when you left, we'll just leave it at that. A lot of your friends and community wanted to support you because you'd made the decision to pursue your passion, which is art.
Exactly.
And so you were a little too late for me to get you to do my branding.
That's fine.
Because I'd already hired somebody to do that. But
yeah, no problem.
I really needed an avatar. And of course, I am forever connected to the Saturn V. So it was a lot of fun. I loved it. And I still love it.
For sure.
So why don't you say, or just kind of say what you're doing today, by the way, and then what you are doing now.
Yeah, sure. So obviously, thanks for inviting me, and I know you've invited me to many an episode, and I have promised several times that I'd be on. But I'm glad I made this work because the kids are on summer vacation right now, and homeschooling has been fun. So it's finally at that point where I have time to breathe. So I'm glad I could make it into the show. So thank you for inviting me. And yeah, just as you said before, on the off chance there's anybody listening or watching, they're like, wait a minute, that guy worked for Lego. Go to my YouTube channel. I have a playlist of about 60 plus videos on interviews I've done anywhere and everywhere. So if you really want to know the whole story, you can find it. But yes, now I am in the post Lego world. I am no longer working for the Red Brick, and that means I'm pursuing my own business as a freelance artist, which is also my educational background. So I have a bachelor's degree in fine art. And what's funny, oh, and by the way, I'm taking stuff apart. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm disassembling things that have been around me, like this. What is this? Come here. This is like, oh, I just got this Y-wing starfighter.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And that was a fun build. But yeah, I have a self-imposed policy that I don't display Lego sets. So I build them.
We call it the Kevin Hinkle method.
Hey, everybody enjoys their hobby in a different way. I really like to build them because I feel like a Lego set's made to be built, and you get to experience what the new techniques are and the new parts and the new colors. And all that good stuff. But then when it's done, I get this weird kind of like I just bought a puzzle and I sprayed it with glue and framed it feeling when I display a Lego set on a shelf. Because, you know, you have people come over and they go, "That's so great. Did you build that?" And you're like, "I followed instructions." Like, no. So I don't have that same philosophy with my own mocks. I'll display those for years. But sets, I'm like, all right, it's done. I look at it, I enjoy it, I play with it, I let my kids play with it, and then I'm like, all right, it's coming apart. It's done. So that's the story there. But yes, in terms of what I'm doing now, what's funny is for years and years and years, you know, people are like, that guy's living the dream. He's working at Lego.
Yeah.
And my family was super disappointed in me because they're like, Kevin, you've been an artist your whole entire life. What are you doing working for this toy company in marketing? And it was actually the result of many awkward, like, Thanksgiving conversations and like, because they're like, so when are you going to finally do what you're supposed to do? It's like, well, so.
Isn't that the opposite of what it's supposed to be? Like, you know, artists are you know, starving artists who don't get paid anything, and then their whole goal is to find a regular gig.
It's true. However, I wasn't doing anything art related at all at Lego. So I mean, it's great to have a paycheck, 100%.
Hey man, my first degree was in aviation, and now I'm an electrical engineer. So
yeah, you know, because I mean, I've wanted, like, I mean, ever since, according to my parents, ever since I was like 2 or 3, I wanted to draw and be an artist. Like, I didn't want to be a policeman or a fireman or an astronaut. I wanted to be an artist since I was like 2. And that has never changed. And I did try. I tried either 3 times or 4 times to get into the art field at Lego. And it just never worked out. For some reason, they just didn't want me. But they were quite pleased to know I was finally doing what I, quote, should be doing. But yeah, now, don't worry. Now I'm starving artist, so it's all good.
okay. As long as you're suffering for your art, we're good.
Exactly. Thankfully, I have a wife that works full time, and her income plus my income helps us continue to pay for things.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was, as Scott was saying, what was absolutely incredible and something I was not prepared for was last time I tried to be a freelance artist, kind of failed miserably because I just graduated college and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I had my portfolio and I threw it out there, and everyone's like, hey, who are you? So I think I got 2 jobs in the span of, I think, 4 years.
Oh.
So that wasn't very helpful. This time when I did it, I was expecting a similar response, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get everything ready. And within my first week, I had like 60 jobs in my inbox. And they were all from Lego people. And I was like, okay, wait, I'm not ready for this. I was like, hold on. Like, I even remember when I started, I had this whole strategy of what I was going to do in the meantime, waiting for maybe a few commissions to come in. And I'm like, I can't even work on that. So it was really incredible. And I'm very thankful that all the people I met over the years and the network I built were incredibly supportive. And I guess it helps that I'm good at what I do decently enough that people want to keep hiring me to do it. But it's really awesome. And I constantly shake my head going, I don't feel like this is how this should be. I feel like there's I hit the right, like, anomaly, the right timeline where this is somehow able to work. And that's kind of amazing.
Well, I think something that in that past role as a community support or community outreach, you weren't always giving us good news.
Very seldomly.
But you did it in a way that I don't know. And I deal with clients, I did it my whole life and now I'm doing it in a different way. But you did it in a way that actually made us feel like you were listening still. And so to me, that's why I think partially the community rallied around you and to this day kind of won't let you go, right? They wish they could.
That,
I just I don't even want anything from you, and I'm
No, I think, yeah, there most of the time it's like, here you go, here's your new bad news to deliver.
right.
And there's nothing you can really do about it. But I always took the approach of like, I feel like they deserve as much honesty as I can provide. Because I mean, that was something that I was always pushing hard inside Lego, was to be like, look, does this really have to be secret? Does this thing have to be, under wraps? And most of the time, there was never a good reason. Like, no, we just don't want to tell them. I'm like, well, but not telling people leads to rumors. It leads to speculation. It leads to all this nonsense. And if we can be open and honest, even if it's bad news, at least they'll get it and they'll understand it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's all it takes is just explain why, and people go, oh. When you don't, then everyone starts speculating of the reason why, and it just leads to nonsense. But yeah, I just try to, give people the respect I thought they deserved in being open and honest about what I had to say. And I was listening. it may not, sometimes there's not anything I could do about it, but I was definitely listening.
We've got another regular has joined us. Hi, Peter.
Peter. Can we hear him?
Not yet.
You're muted, Pete.
There you go. You got like a cool Star Wars hologram thing going on right now, where there's like these like stripes of white.
It also looks like you just woke up.
Oh,
yeah, maybe.
I also know that too.
I don't know. I think my webcam may have about just had it.
It's perfect though. Can you ask for the Rebel plans or
something dark side?
I can't wait. I can't wait when we have blue tinted holograms. I'm ready.
Yeah. I don't want the set that just came out. I'm going to wait till it's on Bricklink, but the one that is in Obi-Wan's residence that's got the little blue Leia.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
It's trans blue and it's a Leia. So,
yeah, like that, right? Like the little those are great. It's so good.
I don't collect minifigs. I actually make a fairly good income selling my minifigs back to Bricks and Minifig and then buying other sets.
That's cool. That's how you supplement. So wait, were you going to sell that Captain Brickbeard from that set?
No, this one I'll keep. There are some I maybe have a couple dozen that I've kept that are have some kind of personal meaning, but
got it.
In general, no.
I was going to say I didn't have to pay $11 for my Captain Brickbeard. That was the cheap one. That was the cheapest one.
I paid $300 for mine, or whatever it was.
For your Captain Brickbeard?
Right.
Oh, you got Barracuda Bay?
Yep, that's what I'm doing. You're working on your tower?
Yeah, I have one built, and I got a second one here to see if I can modify it and make it even grander.
Wow. Where in the world is Peter?
Boise, Idaho.
Oh, nice. Okay. You should just go to the house, right?
What's that?
You could just go over to Scott's house.
He doesn't like to have me over there.
Oh.
I take too many pieces with me when I...
Sore subject.
Yeah, the dynamic is usually me and Sam making fun of these other two for, I don't know, living in Idaho.
I
don't know if that's the case.
Do you guys know about the Great Potato Drop?
The what?
The Great Potato Drop? Scott, surely you know about the Great Potato Drop.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know a lot of people, but I know like 3 people who live in Idaho. And one of the other people that I know there was telling me about the great potato drop they do, I guess, during like New Year's.
Yep.
And I'm like, you are so full of it. There's no way you drop a giant potato on New Year's Eve. And he sent me a video of this event occurring. I was like, oh my goodness.
Well, you know, in the UK, we roll wheels of cheese down hills, right, and chase after it.
I know about that.
Cheese rolling.
I was not aware.
Near Gloucester.
What is the? I have so many questions.
You have your potato drops. We have our cheese rolling. You know, these things happen.
Wow, I mean, that's definitely a royal we.
The jokes just write themselves.
Yeah, the great. Happy New Year, everyone. The great potato drop.
Yeah, yesterday was actually Utah's one and only unique holiday, the 24th of July. We call it Pioneer Day, and it's the day that all the pioneers came to Utah. So we have, in 1 month, we have 2 days that have like lots of fireworks. So,
oh, it's a firework day.
Firework day. So we get, yeah. My 3-year-old son was freaking out yesterday because we got another day of fireworks.
I think.
Kids don't get used to it. I don't know how long we're going to be in Utah.
Yeah, I don't know what the memo is in Connecticut, but we've had firework night every night for 4 months now, I think. It's just
So
like every night somebody down the street is like again.
Why?
So you're in Connecticut right now?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. I grew up in Maryland and Pennsylvania, so I'm an East Coaster.
Yeah. That's what saved me today, is that I was on East Coast time. Coming to you live from my bed.
That would have been new.
What are you doing together today? Well, I'm dressing, so there's that.
Indeed.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm in Connecticut, but I'm not from Connecticut. I'm originally a Texan.
although I gotta say, Enfield and that area around you is quite beautiful. I mean,
Well, I mean, if you like farm.
Yeah.
and it's close to a racetrack because I like Watkins Glen. So
Yeah. Hey, look at that. I know that. That happens every Tuesday.
I'm going to be hopefully headed your way later. So if things work out, maybe we could have a socially distant meal.
Oh, what date or when is that planning?
I can't remember right now, but as it gets closer, we're kind of one event to the next, you know.
I got you.
So I just wanted to make sure that people understood how deep your presence is in the community. So one of the things that you do is the brick building on now Tuesdays. It used to be Fridays.
Right.
And you had stopped to rightly concentrate on your artwork and your stream, which I'll show you in a minute. And this has now come back.
The people demanded it, Scott.
Even this last week. And
the people.
So anyway, this was the germ of the idea that I had. And you graciously said you didn't care if I copied the shit out of you. So.
No, copy away.
Oh,
I know I said it.
God dang it.
Right, who had 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what's funny? What's funny is I had Scott on one of my streams, and I always I never know who's watching, and so I have like a rule that like I don't want any profanity on my streams, and I don't want any bullying. And it's funny because there's these 2 or 3 guys that I'm always like eagle-eyeing because I'm like they're going to be the ones. They're going to be the ones that mess this up. And Scott came into one of my streams. And it was very quick. And I don't even remember what the word. He dropped one. I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, Scott, you were the last person I thought that was going to break this rule today. And it was great because one of the other guys that I usually assume is going to do. He was in the stream too, and he was like nothing short of dancing. He's like, look, Kevin, it wasn't me.
It was the old guy. You know, as we get older, we lose some of that filter between our mind and our.
It's all right. This is your stream. You can say whatever you want.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Let's see. I think it's the next one.
But yeah, you know, that was actually that was kind of a fun, I guess, experiment, if you want to say, with live streaming. And I had a couple different reasons for kicking it off. I mean, I've been interested in live streaming for a while.
Yep.
I knew a bunch of other people that did it regularly. I also had a stupidly large backlog of sealed Lego sets in the neighborhood of 300 that I needed to get to work on. And so I said, you know what? How about I force myself every week, or at least every other week, to sit here for a few hours and build some of them. And so a couple things happened. First of all, a lot of people were interested in it, which is kind of another interesting thing that I don't know why I didn't assume that, but I didn't. I assumed I was going to be on camera by myself and I'll be building stuff and maybe people will stop by and they'll ask me questions in the chat. And instead it was like, oh, I guess I'm going to have a full house every time and people waiting. All right, got it. And that's cool. At the same time, I was also going through kind of my own Lego hobby detox kind of approach, I guess, where I'm like, okay, I've amassed all these Lego sets, but do I need all these Lego sets? And I started kind of doing my own Lego set soul searching and decided that I was building a bunch, but I was also okay with parting with a bunch too. I'm like, you know what? I can sell these or trade them or whatever. So in the span of a year, it was exactly a year. January, I kicked it off January 1st, 2019, and it wrapped up December 2019. I built and or sold almost everything in my backlog. So as of right now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 sets in the backlog. And those are ones that I've like combed over multiple times. Like, no, I think I really want that and I want to build it. So I've settled. But yeah, I figured it was at a good place to stop. I was not quite prepared for the quote community revolt when I decided to stop doing it. Which again, I was very, I'm humbled, I'm honored. But I was, as you said, Scott, I was trying to also just focus my time and energy back into my business a little bit more.
Yep.
And a couple people were like genuinely curious, like, Kevin, what do we need to do as a community to make you bring this back? And I was like, well, I mean, if you really want to get into it, if you like financially support me, then I can bring it back. And so people are like, well, what does that mean? Like, well, I have a Patreon, it's a financial, monthly commitment if you want to be one of the people that supports me. And I just arbitrarily threw out a number. I said, okay, if 50 of you do it, then fine, I'll bring it back. And again, to my astonishment, within 4 months, I had 50 people doing it. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a man of my word. So I'll bring it back. And so it's been back since then. I rebranded it a little bit because I don't really have a backlog anymore.
Right.
So that's why I turned it into brick building so that it's like, we'll do whatever Lego related stuff, I guess. But yeah, and I switched it because it used to be every other Friday morning because I was alternating it with my art stream. And I said, you know what? I've actually really come to enjoy having that art stream every Friday morning. And I think it's growing. So I just added this onto the schedule as an additional stream. So now both of them exist every week.
And this, in case you're interested, is the Patreon. And I still am considering getting on this, but
yeah,
you've been on it for some time now.
Yep. I do recommend it. I mean, for any content creator, whether you're a musician or a writer or an artist, there's a lot of YouTubers that use it. It's really helpful to know that there are people. I mean, first of all, there's people that enjoy your content enough that they're willing to say, yes, charge my credit card every month. But it's a stable amount of income,
right,
every month that you can count on. And, obviously people that take that plunge and say, yes, I'm willing to support you there is a little bit of expectation that they're going to get something. So you can really dress it up however you want. I mean, there's people that, like they'll send out physical rewards in the mail. Like if you like, there's a couple of YouTube channels that I support there, and they'll send you like branded notebooks and stuff that they don't sell anywhere. So it's like you either support them on Patreon and get their branded merch, or you don't get their merch. Or you can post it, like behind the scenes stuff. There's a lot of people that have a lot of success with saying, you know, here's my video, but if you want to see how I made it, then that's on Patreon. So a lot of behind the scenes content. Greg Highland, if you guys know that name, he's a long standing Lego artist. He just kicked off a Patreon a couple months ago because he saw I had one, and he sends out postcards in the mail every couple months, and they're little comics, and they're actually really funny. Because it's like
Greg Heitland, you said?
Yeah, Greg Highland. He did the AFOLs comic. He's the one that in Brick Journal magazine.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
That's his comic in the back. I alternate with Greg because he's been doing the comics for that magazine for years and years and years. And so he was like, I'm kind of getting tired. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go back and forth on that now, but he has a Patreon as well. And yeah, he'll send out stuff to you in the mail, which is really funny.
Which you give back, right? You give back a percentage. You reinvest in other people based on what you get, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm currently, I try to stay around like 10 or 15% of what I earn on Patreon. I give back to other people on Patreon. So there's a bunch of Lego people that I support, and then a bunch of artists, and like 3 or 4 YouTube channels that I really like and watch all their content. That's just my personal.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. So talk about, I haven't attended one of these yet, but talk about your Doodles Room.
Yeah, so this is, so going back to what you said about, do you mind if I rip this off from you? I was very inspired by Brick and Nick. So Brick and Nick is in the Lego community, and he's a Twitch streamer. And he does what he calls a viewer build request stream every week. And he will just sit there and he'll take suggestions from his chat, and he will build the things that you suggest for him to build. It's not gigantic models by any means. It's,
right.
You know, he's using a limited number of bricks in front of him, and people say, build me, you know, Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, and he'll do it. And it'll be like, you know, like, I don't know, this size or whatever. So not like giant, but I was like, man, I wonder if I could do something like that, but like what I do with drawing. So I started the Doodle Stream, where I kind of do a similar approach where I ask people that watch it to give me suggestions, and I will draw it for them. It's 3 hours long. It never feels like 3 hours. It actually goes by really quickly. And we do have themes. So like that picture you have on there, that was our summer theme. So the suggestion had to be summer related. And people will throw them out there. So like for that episode, we had a melted Sonic the Hedgehog popsicle was one of the ideas.
Right.
The wacky inflatable arm tube man that you see in cars failed lots. A barbecue grill. There's a little girl at a lemonade stand. One person asked for a palm tree, and another person asked for a sunset. So I made both of them as a palm tree and sunset.
Here you go.
My buddy Julian, he said, draw me in a little swimming pool. And I'm like, I don't know if people want to see that. And then 5 other people said, please draw Julian in a swimming pool. I was like, okay. So I guess that's what we're doing.
That does look like him.
It does. He actually he's using that as his profile picture now.
I was going to say, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, and anybody that is there live and they watch and participate and they get one of their drawings or one of their suggestions drawn, I always say, if you want it, just tell me and I'll email it to you. So I will crop it out of the canvas and I'll email it to whoever asked for it. So there are a couple regular viewers that have told me they have saved up dozens of pictures over the many months. But I just did the math, and I just crossed 100 hours of the Doodle Stream.
Wow.
I think a week ago. So that doesn't count what I did yesterday. But
do you think that helps you stay nimble and create?
Yeah.
obviously, if it doesn't feel like 3 hours, it doesn't feel like work.
Right. It's a lot of fun. I do have like, somewhat sneaky agendas with it because I want to make sure that I'm still drawing all the time. And I do this. It's digital, but I'm drawing traditionally because I'm not using a mouse. I'm using a tablet. And so that's good practice for me because so much of my work now is just 100% digital with a mouse. So I can continue to draw. I try to suggest themes every now and then of stuff that I'm not comfortable drawing. So that way my audience forces me to draw things. So on Friday we did vehicles and I was like terrified because I'm like, oh no, I don't know how to draw cars and stuff. This is going to be awful. But it came out okay. I did like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was a suggestion.
That's good.
A tank had like a hot air balloon, so that was okay. So it forces me to practice, and it hopefully forces me to work on themes that I'm not really comfortable with. And I also just consider it brand building. This guy's an artist, so he should be drawing, right? That's the assumption, is that I should be seeing content from him like this regularly. So I try to get mileage out of it. So I'll make a little collage, which was that image you had of the summer. I'll make a little collage of the things we drew on stream, and I'll post on social media so people can see what I've drawn. One of the reasons I was working so late last night was I've started saving out the stream. So I actually downloaded the full 3-hour stream off of YouTube, and I'm going to post it up separately as a 5-minute time lapse. So if you don't want to sit there and engage for 3 hours, you can just check out the time lapse real quick and see everything that came to fruition.
So basically, you just see you drawing.
Yeah, I don't have a face cam just because I don't. I don't know if there's a better reason. I would like to have one because people have asked. They say they want to see my reaction when they give me ridiculous suggestions, which I understand. But right now, you will just see my desktop on my laptop. So you'll see the Photoshop canvas as I'm drawing out what people suggest. But obviously, you can hear me. I have my microphone on, so I am talking and responding. You just can't. You can't see my face when I go, yeah, I'm not drawing that.
So you
so Kevin, I do have a question for you.
Oh,
absolutely.
I'm always curious about. So you're drawing right into Photoshop. Yeah. What's your type of hardware you like to use? I heard you said you like to use a stylus.
Yeah, I'm using.
Anything?
I'm using a Wacom tablet. I don't. It's one of the like pro versions, which I think just means it's a larger tablet. But it's not it's not one of the Cintiq models that has the screen built into it, which is what I'd love to have. So it's still like I'm drawing down, but I'm looking forward, which is a little unnatural. But once you do it for a year, or actually almost 2 years, you start to get used to it.
That was my question because I tried to use it because I do photography and I tried to use a Wacom tablet in Photoshop and it was a total disconnect.
It's not natural at all. You're like, what is this? I'm supposed to be looking at what I draw and I'm looking in a different direction.
So I actually have a Microsoft Surface, the tablet version, and that seems to work so much better for me. And I only can dream of like buying the big Surface Studio that they have.
That's money, man.
I don't know if you've seen those with the.
That's for the quote successful artists, the ones that have made it. My wife actually has the Microsoft Surface that she uses for school, and I've used it a couple times just to see what it's like, and it is really like it's a lot more natural to use that to draw on. It's almost like drawing on real paper.
And and I guess my other question would be, I would imagine you've made a custom workspace in Photoshop, or do you use one of the default ones?
I just use the default. Somebody was asking me the other day, a fellow artist, like what type of brushes and stuff I use. I'm like, I don't even use the brush tool. I just use the pen tool. They're like, or the pencil. They're like, what's wrong with you, Kevin? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, I just straight up use the default on it, and because I mean, basically, I only do it once a week. Because so much of my work, as I said, is digital. I most of my time is spent in Adobe Illustrator, and so I'm doing vector-based artwork using the mouse. And so once a week, I use the tablet in Photoshop. So I just don't necessarily see a reason to put a lot of energy into like setting all that stuff up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious because, as I said before, I primarily use Photoshop for photography work, but now I'm getting into designing my own custom figures that I put into video. So I'm just like, I'm trying to learn the best because
like minifigures, right?
Minifigures, yeah.
Yeah, I have done actually. Here, if you will allow me, Scott, I can show. I've done a lot of minifigure design. Let me see here. So one of my clients is Eclipse Graphics. I don't know if you're aware of them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah, they do a lot of custom printing on minifigs. Let me share my screen. Where did the internet go? Oh, there you go. Share screen. This share. Let me know if you can see it. I don't know if I'm showing it or not.
It was there for a second.
Oh,
there we go.
There. So like this was a Valentine's Day fig. He wanted a sad single female and single male. So she's got like the broken heart, and he's got.
Well, we're seeing a huge array.
Oh, you're not. Wait, hold on. Where'd the internet go again? Oh, yeah. Let me share. Hold on. Let me share. I guess let me share my whole screen. Ooh, dangerous. Okay. Let me minimize you guys so you don't have to see. Okay. You may have to allow me to share again, Scott. Maybe. Sorry. I apologize.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so that you can see that now.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is the male and the female single Valentine's Day, and I sent that over. He changed it a little bit. He changed the. They're supposed to be eating chocolate ice cream. He changed the guy to sweat stains and beer instead of chocolate ice cream. But I've done those. I've done stuff for like people that have their own businesses. Like this guy does stop motion, and so he wanted his. He didn't want to pay the money to send out sig figs, so he wanted a drawing of a sig fig, so he could do stickers and stuff. But back to more minifigure design stuff. That's like the straightforward stuff. So you got like like Bob Ross. So you got like Bob Ross.
Oh, yeah.
So that's to be printed out onto a minifig. Let's see. Oh, here's John McClane from Die Hard.
Oh, wow.
And
I love his cameo in the Lego Movie 2.
Yeah, and I definitely had some screenshots that I had saved to reference for that.
I definitely don't live in here.
Yeah, I don't live in this this tunnel. Here's the Spider-Man Noir from the newer Spider-Verse.
Nice.
And this was before. I actually did this before Lego released their version. I don't know. I haven't looked at their version to see if it's better or not. I'm just going to assume that mine's better.
Yes, as one would.
Yeah. Oh, here's Freddy Krueger. If you like horror movies.
Oh wow,
very cool.
There's the back side of this has the shirt ripped open with all the like faces. Super gross, but whatever. And here's why I bought that Captain Redbeard, because I wanted to draw. I needed a reference.
Oh,
so
right.
Wanted to have it in hand because I think that figure is really cool. So yeah, I've got a lot of experience with designing figs for people. So that's enough of that.
You served up one. I'll show the bricks in the middle, which is kind of used for your cartoons, right? Your
Yeah. I still do those. Unfortunately, not as frequently as I should.
Joe Mano?
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Yeah. So yeah, I have a comic series called Bricks in the Middle, which was very much inspired by Greg Highland, who I mentioned earlier, about the Lego hobby and the community in general. And so
it's really dark and depressing.
Well,
no,
it's interesting.
Kidding.
It's interesting.
You'll find Joe Chambers has a very strange sense of humor. Just
strange? Is that how you describe it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, I think this community is very interesting.
It is.
There's so many times I read like a forum or a thread on a Twitter post about something, and I'm like, yeah, that's a comic right there.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my philosophy with it. But yeah, it's all about a guy who's in this community. He's kind of newish. He's not meant to be like one of the old guard, because that's another joke. So he's meant to be like a newer fan, and it's just you follow his life. But that has its own thing. Like Bricks in the Middle has its own social media accounts if you wanted to follow the comic on Instagram or whatever. And then, like I said, I share Brick Journal magazine with Greg now, so we alternate back and forth, where you'll have an AFOLs comic, and then the next month you'll have a Bricks in the Middle comic, and it goes back and forth on that.
So, whilst we've got a little bit of break here, we'll say hello to some people in the universe.
Oh, nice.
Scott, our friend Tom, Starter Tom, says hello.
Oh,
Hello.
so he's watching with his kids. He told me that they like to watch.
Well, they probably jumped off when you cussed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Everybody run, yeah. And we're done with this stream.
And we're done.
Luckily, Tom knows me, so he wouldn't.
We have a hello from Kyle Pezowick,
Hello, Kyle.
who's watched the show before. He was definitely around last week. And he's asked the question as well, Kevin, which I think you might be able to answer. So here we go. What type of printing ink is used to print on the bricks and minifigs?
That's a great question. So I don't print anything. So I get the job from Eclipse for whatever's the character he wants designed, and I will send him the full turnaround design work. So he usually wants the head of a minifigure, front and, well, not front and back, but like two different expressions. So you can have the front and the back, and then a torso, front and back. The side, because he prints on the sides of the torsos too.
Really?
So I have to do a side design, which is, I actually have the most difficulty with the side. That's what I usually, because like my brain, I'm like, what's the perspective on this? And then the legs, the front and back of the legs, yes, the back as well, with the holes and the sides of the legs too. And I will deliver that to him, and he does the printing, because that's what his business does. They are not pad printed, I can tell you that, because Eclipse Graphics doesn't do pad printing like Citizen Brick does. So Citizen Brick,
does he do a UV stabilized?
I'm pretty sure it's UV digital print is what it says on the website. So I don't know the specifics of what that even means, but it's he prints them out, and then my work is done after I hand over the files.
Cool.
I mean, it's done when I get the money. Then it's done. And next job.
Well, we have a couple of other people to say hello to. Sarah Evans, my colleague and Scott's colleague now.
Hello.
Where is she from, Scott?
She is from Wales.
There you go. Excellent. She said hello. Aaron from episode 8.
Oh, Aaron.
Also says, yeah. Also says hello.
Hello. Oh, are you on Facebook too?
Yes, we're
Oh,
everywhere.
Nice. It's YouTube and Facebook.
I
And
upgraded to the next version, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And one more hello to do for now. Sam Bradford.
Hello.
Hey, Sam. We have room, Sam, if you want to join.
Every time I see the word hello and I'm in a Lego stream, I immediately think of Benny in the first Lego movie going, hello! And he's just floating. That's my brain instinctively thinks of that. Hello.
That's an interesting part of your brain, Kevin.
It is. What did you say? A legend in his own mind.
Yeah, I did.
If I showed you, have you seen my Lego logo?
No.
Have I?
Yeah, let me share this.
So.
What now that you bring up Benny? So this is my logo.
Yeah.
It's just like edited perfectly enough. That's great.
So this was astronaut Alan Bean from Skylab 3, but as you can see, it is
And of
now.
course you know that.
Of course I know that. He's changing out the film on the Apollo telescope now.
I love that's really good. That's some good editing work on that too.
I have to give credit to my brother-in-law Tom. Tom Woodbury actually did that for me in Photoshop. So
Very good. Photoshop is a powerful tool.
and he's a graphic designer too. So
Nice.
he is a graphic designer.
Very nice.
I have to do a little bit of editing on photos and stuff for my kit work, and I must say it frustrates the heck out of me.
Nice reservation there.
I got a little nervous there.
I was
Ready to pause. But I finally found, I think it's a British actually program called Affinity, and it was cheap enough that I could buy it, and I've been learning how to do more of it, but it's that way I can show clients what a printed brick would look like.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff that I need to do.
Thank goodness for YouTube. Let me tell you, you need to find out how to do something, just type it into YouTube.
Oh yes,
That's
definitely.
true.
How about the people with the patience to make short, stupid little tutorials like that?
Oh yeah.
It's incredible. It's like I think of the most mundane thing. You type it in, and someone has it, and it's like,
Someone got it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're going to look at how to take your text size one size larger. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I need that.
Take a look
Hey,
at
it's fine. Somebody needs it. So,
take a look at increasing your text size, and I am dead inside. So welcome.
and don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Subscribe.
Talking about your artwork. Back to your artwork.
There we are.
Oh, cool.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, that was.
The child. Come on now.
Yeah.
Now that one you did.
we don't
That's
know that. There
like
might
a-
be some time travel.
right.
Yeah, that was actually a gift. So if you support me on Patreon at the $5 or above, then I actually draw a little gift for you and I mail it to you. So it's an original piece of artwork. It's not a print. It's not a replication. It's the actual artwork, and that was for somebody in Alabama who had started supporting me. So I was like, I did some reconnaissance, and he did a lot of Mandalorian themed Lego building. So I drew him the child. And I only did that because I usually ask, I'll say, hey, thanks for supporting me. You get a gift. What do you want me to draw for you? And every now and then there are people that go, I don't know. And so I'm like, okay. And so he was one of those people that did not give me direction, so I had to figure it out on my own.
And then I was very intrigued on the one on the left. Your post was a little cryptic, but anyway, can you tell us a little more about that one?
Yeah, so this is actually quite a while ago at this point. I mean, 2020 in itself has been 15 years in 1 year. But
Yes, right.
Back in really early 2019, I had somebody approach me who was another fellow Lego employee, ex-fellow. I mean, we're both ex. But another former colleague of the Brick reached out, and he was writing a book about a children's book. He was writing a children's book about a little boy who likes to build and doesn't like to do anything else in his life. And so he's always getting in trouble because he doesn't want to do his schoolwork. He doesn't want to, get ready for school. He doesn't want to do his chores. He just wants to keep building. And it was actually pretty cool. So this colleague didn't realize I drew because, we worked together for years and years. And he's like, Kevin, you're a marketing guy. I didn't know you drew anything. I'm like, exactly. Welcome to my world. And so he saw some of my artwork, and he was like, I'd really like to have you illustrate my book for me if you'd be interested in doing it. And I'm like, I would be absolutely interested in having a children's author credit on my resume. And so he sent me the book, and he said, even though it was his book and he was writing it, he did have a partner who was helping him financially, and who was also connected to a publisher. So it was his book, but it wasn't 100% his say.
Yeah.
He said, I'm totally on board with you, but my partner's not quite convinced. I'm like, yeah, what else is new? And so he said, can you do one page? Can you take one page out of the book? We'll pay you for it. It's not for free. We will pay for your time, and illustrate how you would take this one page. And I went all in because it was basically like a job interview. I was like, I'm going all in on this.
Yeah.
And so the actual sentence was like, I don't even remember what the kid's name was. Like, little Sam woke up and it was 7:30, time for breakfast. And his sister came by and said, why aren't you coming down? And he goes, I just want to build. That's it. That's all. That was the sentence. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to draw his bedroom. I got to pack. Because obviously I'm a parent as well. I've got 2 kids. I know this drill. I'm like, I need to put as many details in this picture as I can because that's what you want. The kids are just staring at the photos the whole time.
Yep.
And so I think this was about 40-ish hours of work.
Oh, wow.
And I packed as many things as I could in. And this is actually cropped. So the full image extends out to the right, and there's a doorway, and his sister's looking into his room. But unfortunately, Instagram does not like things that are not square, so I had to crop it. But there's all kinds of. I also hit a lot of like Lego references in there. So you can see on the wall, there's a castle, space, and pirate poster.
Yep.
And the pirate is very reminiscent of the Barracuda, but not quite.
Yep.
There's a creator house on his shelf with the little trees.
The classic trees, yep.
Yeah, the rocket ship hanging from the middle is pretty much the only thing I just flat out created as I drew it. I didn't use any reference at all because I wanted like an iconic classic rocket ship with like the red fins. He's got like a race car. He's got like a classic wooden toy train chest. There's a family of birds out on the trees that are looking at him. A mom with like 3 little birds. He's got a picture of him with his hair actually combed on the wall. So yeah, I just packed as many things as I can, and I actually felt really confident. I'm like, Kevin, you got this in the bag. And then I waited around, and then I got the news that they were going to go with a different artist. So like, well, okay, I got paid. I did it. I learned something. So I saved it out, and I actually hadn't shared it really until the other day. I try to post my goal. My social media training has taught me that I should have at least 1 post on social media every day to keep an engagement going. And so I try to post something I've created every single day. And I was actually having a little difficulty finding something I hadn't already shared that morning. And I'm like, oh, I never shared this picture of the book I did. So even though it was from 2019, it was shared with the world fairly recently.
Right.
It almost has a very Calvin and Hobbes feel to it.
Yeah. I was trying to, I was looking at a bunch of kids' book reference photos, like how do other artists go about it. And I kind of really wanted to go for like a watercolor kind of approach, but I didn't know how to go about it. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So I just went back to what I know how to do. I was like, I'll just do this. That's the reason the guy said he liked my artwork in the first place. So
Yeah. Right.
but yeah, it got a lot of love online. A lot of people were like, oh, this is so good. It's such a shame that they didn't pick you. It's like, it's all right. It's fine. It's how it goes. All right.
So I just dropped a section of this tower, and I almost said something.
Oh.
And I'm like, Peter, you're on live on Twitter, and there is no room for that kind of talk.
You have very good self-control, and we're all very proud of you.
You are, Scott. Stop. Stop it.
So you are also into stickers.
Oh yeah, I'm in the sticker game. I am in the sticker game indeed. And I got inspired going to a pop culture con local in Philadelphia. I set up a table. It was my first art table at a show, and there was a guy in the same like artist alley, and he was selling stickers. He had a bunch of stickers, and I'm like, ooh, I should do that. Stickers, that's kind of fun. And so I decided to do what I call, I embarked on what I call the face project, which was how many faces could I illustrate and turn into stickers. And I'm up to, I think, 45 now. And I don't want to stop because I one day I want to have like a booth that has like a wall of stickers that you can pick from, because I think that'd be awesome. But being a Lego guy, I have a lot of Lego themed stickers because the people demand it, Scott. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So I do have a lot of Lego themed stickers. They are kind of some like heavy hitters, I guess. You know, Batman, Benny, Captain Redbeard, and Knight. Funny enough, half of those got taken down on Etsy the other day for copyright infringement.
I wanted to. I didn't know if you could talk about that, but I saw that post. Was it on Twitter? You said something.
Yep. It's like, well, okay. So it's really interesting because, any artist who dabbles in the world of fan art understands that there's always a risk with your fan art because it's not your thing. Like Bricks in the Middle is my thing, 100%.
Right.
My character, my universe. Drawing Batman? I'm not DC Comics. Like, there is always a risk, and I get it, and I have no delusions that I don't have a risk-free arena to battle in. But for the most part, most companies don't do much about fan art stuff because they just see it as additional free promotion. It gets more people talking about their brand and their characters, and usually it doesn't look bad to strike down fan artists that are doing such things. There's usually more PR and community backlash than there is praise for doing that. But yeah, I got a notice on Etsy. So Etsy is the main place I sell them, but I sell them at shows as well. So I have them on hand. So hey, if you guys want to buy it, they're still available. don't you worry. They're just not on Etsy right now. But the first one I got, I've actually gotten two. I got one 4 months ago, and I was pretty sure it was just due to the titles because I named it. I was like, oh, look, Lego guy sticker. And I was like, yeah, I know. They're looking for that stuff. And so I switched them up. So like Lego Man turned into Plastic Toy Man. And actually it was all good for another 4 months. So I'm like, maybe that was it. Maybe it's just like, don't use those titles in your marketing and stuff. And so I made the adjustments, but they came back. So I'm probably, the ones that they took down, I'm probably not going to put back up on Etsy just because I'm like, yeah, 2 strikes, I get it. is fine. Like I said, they're still available. I have them, and I'll sell them at shows and stuff because unless you have lawyers on site, that's not gonna happen. But also, it's very interesting because there doesn't seem to be, at least from my educated experience, I don't see a lot of consistency in what is okay and what is not okay. So, for example, they said that I have a classic white spaceman. It's just like the yellow classic smiley and a white space helmet. That's it. That is not okay, but they have the classic Lego space guy in red, yellow, and black is okay. So okay. So they left a fair number of them. They're still on the site. You can still buy them if you want.
Huh. What about the rainbow? Is that
was okay? It was totally fine. So
and here is his Etsy store.
Yep, Etsy.com/Mr. Hinkle Draws. And Patreon.
If you want to find you, that's like a good way to find you. But I will also just there's also another Etsy shop that you should probably visit.
Oh, is there?
What would that be, Scott?
I don't know, but it has a little Saturn V that's quite popular.
Nice, I love it.
Did you ever build yours, Kevin?
What we call a Segway.
Yeah. Did you ever build yours?
I'm still looking at it. I see. I could get it in 2 seconds. I have not built it yet. It's on my shelf with all my other custom kits, and I do want to build them at some point. I think I'm actually, because they're community based. I've had this idea for a while now. A lot of people have asked me for product reviews, and I'm like, "What's wrong with you? Why do you want to know what I think about Lego sets?" But it's been a thing that I've been asked for over and over and over again. And you should do product reviews, and I don't think I want to do that. But I would actually be more than willing to entertain the idea of product reviews on community-based products. And so
Kevin,
I'm holding off.
A product review for me? Well, except I need to send you a current one because I think you've got Gen 1.
It's in the bag, right? The white one in the bag.
Yeah, but again, I got to the point where I priced myself out of that design, so I have an improved design.
Oh, okay. So, well, you
promise someday I'll send it to you.
You don't have to, but if you want to, it's okay. So yeah, I think I'm waiting because I've got a whole shelf of custom stuff, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do something like that at some point because I don't need to give Lego free advertisement. I'll give my fellow community members free advertisement.
All right, Scott.
Yes.
I have to show you this. I'm very impressed with Mr. Muscovite Sandwich's design. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay.
Am I coming in clearly?
So here's his fairing, the upper stage, and he's got the Centaur upper stage in there with the spacecraft on top, and it's I'm really impressed with this. It all hooks together.
Oh, that's
I don't
cool.
know the Atlas.
Where are the instructions for this? Is this brickable or?
Yeah, I found this on Rebrickable.
Got it.
I'm looking for a good Atlas 5 model for Perseverance's launch. Later this month. Crossing my fingers. So yeah, I'm really impressed by this. Anyway, that's all. I just want to show that off.
Okay.
If you could remind me, are the instructions on Rebrickable, are they free or is there a cost to them?
I think it's up to the person posting, isn't it? Joe?
I think you're right.
Because I want to say that my initial understanding was that they were always up there for free. And then I thought I saw some posts recently that people were like, "Oh, you can buy my instructions on Rebrickable for $1." But I was like, "Oh, I thought they were free."
No, there are some on there that are free. I found this one for $6. And I don't know.
It is up to the seller. They can or the poster. Got it. Cool.
I sell my instructions just through email and PayPal.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm thinking about going with Rebrickable, maybe.
Yeah.
No
shade for me.
I want to support my fellow person. I'd like to get your LUT. Would you send me the link?
Like you want to buy it, or you've given me enough help that I'll just send it to you.
I'll buy it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
What's going on, Donnie? I don't think I've seen Donnie for a while in my streams. I recognize the name and the image, but I think it's been a while.
No, Donnie's here. He's wondering how the show evaded his radar until now. So I think we have a new constructor.
Hey, that's because of the gift.
A winner is you.
Huh. I hate it when I have a piece left over that shouldn't be left over.
Yeah,
That's always a fun one.
That's not usually.
I think we all hate it when that happens. Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Actually, I got an example of when it's worse than that. When you're building something and you're left over with a part that any other day of the week would be an error on your end. You're like, this 2x2 round plate is not something that should be left over. And you go through the instructions, you like every single page. You go through the part index in the back, and you go, it says I'm only supposed to have one, but I'm holding two here. And so you waste so much time thinking you've messed up, and you genuinely have an extra part that's a little larger than you would normally have. And I hate that. It's the worst.
That would do me.
That's happened a couple times. I'm like, it can't be extra. It just can't. And after I've wasted a good 20 minutes, I'm like, no. I actually, if it's a small enough model, I've taken stuff apart all the way before. Because I'm like, this can't be extra. And it's actually extra. Like,
This is one of the bits. This is a 2x2 plate, but it's like a really weird, playful blue. But it's one of the new ones that comes in the Mickey and Minnie Mouse belt.
In any other set, that would be not an extra part.
Correct. And I'm sat there going, have I missed it? But I went through Mickey again and again and again and again. No, it's just extra.
Is another level of psychological warfare.
Scott, did you find where it went?
No, as far as I'm concerned, that's a spare piece.
Extra. It's a legitimate extra.
They should just really put a list of, you should have extras of these following parts. But
like
then
take into account the extras in the index for the inventory, the part inventory.
That would be nice if they did that.
Now that's a little too much thinking there.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to roll that back just a hair. Everything says it's been a while. Family, kids, life, keeping me busy. Yeah, no problem.
there are definitely times I really appreciate the keep it simple, stupid. There are no questions sort of mentality of Lego instructions, but also like having an entire page dedicated to putting one piece onto the model. Is a bit much for me.
I like it when it's just the one part that you start with.
Yeah.
It's the whole page and it's just a like a 4x6 plate.
Yeah. And when I do instructions, I'm always like, how many parts can I get away with shoving onto this one page?
Next time you're going, make sure next time you're going through an instruction, you're building a set, and you get that step, like it's like just put the plate on the table. I want you to, as enthusiastically as you can, be like, I'm ready. Like, thrust it down on the table and be like, yes. That way you feel as though you got your money's worth on that page.
Yeah.
So I've been building a lot of the old Blacktron sets digitally.
Yes.
And, speaking of instructions, really gotta pay attention.
You can't go backwards.
Yeah, it's like I have to zoom in so far to make sure I get all the pieces for that step, and it's like, oh wait, there's more.
Yeah, the not having that little like submodel breakdown, the little like count on each step does make a big difference actually.
Sometimes it does.
So look at the parrot. Let's see if I can. They've mixed the colors. I don't think I've ever seen that in I know they've been doing like, bare arms recently.
Yeah.
Where it's two colors, but
They've been doing that for a while.
yes, they've been doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the parrots, at least since 2014, I think.
Go ahead. Bust my bubble there.
I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? If I didn't do it, someone would have done it, and they would have been merciless.
Right.
Someone would have done it in the comments, and that's it. It's there forever then.
I don't know if they necessarily have done it with blue and yellow, but they did it with red and yellow, or red and green. Red and green, it's been done for a while.
Yeah. I'm still amazed.
They don't, in the world of Lego parrots, I don't necessarily think that marbling works really well on that mold. I think I prefer the old, like the red and then having the white and yellow beak and face printed on it, I think works better.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are certain instances where the marbling works well. I don't think it works super well on the parrot. I think it's just like, that's some lazy marbling.
Like the ghost dog from Hidden Side.
Yeah, that works really well. That works good. Right? It's like got that green and clear kind of milky marbling going on.
The dog is white and clear.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not my phone, Donnie. My phone's on silent.
yeah, that is one of my golden rules. Come on here, phone's on silent straight away.
But extra points because the tech sound is Mario related, so good for you.
So I must have been mistaken earlier when someone with the name Sam B popped up because Sam Bradford said hello again.
Oh, okay.
So that makes me wonder if that Sam B might actually be the girl I'm currently dating.
Really? Her name's Sam?
Yes.
No kidding.
Oh, you didn't tell us that.
There it is.
There.
Well, she can join too.
I dated a girl named Johanna. Thankfully, she was
that's weird.
That's weird.
Thankfully, she was tragically born without a personality, and it didn't go that long.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, it's okay. It's like 17 years ago, so it's all good.
We got a zinger.
No, but for real, she really didn't have much of a. Anyway. No.
Now I'm wondering how you talk about us when we're not on the.
You said,
yeah,
this guy from Boise in Idaho.
Right.
I showed this to my buddies at work. I'm like, you got to see these nerds I hang out with.
Nerds.
Nerds. I'm kidding.
The viewers drop off.
I don't think there's any room for an electrical engineer to call anyone else a nerd.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's no more viewers for some reason.
I'm starting to realize why they start at the ground floor first when building a tower. I'm adding a new ground floor.
That's yeah.
But I mean, I think I'm going to be able to get at least 2 more stories with this second kit, maybe 3.
I did want to show part of my introduction was that he's been on every kind of YouTube. This is just the first page that I could get in clip art. If you search on Kevin Hinkle YouTube, it's amazing.
It's all the things.
There's only 2 of these that aren't you.
Yeah, that's well. You know, if you search, I finally beat him. It took me many years, but on YouTube, if you would just search Kevin Hinkle and nothing else, you would get Kevin Hinkle, the professional joyologist, who is like this guy. Yeah, joyologist. I don't know. And he's of course he's shirtless in every photo. And he's got like that classic surfer body with like the long, blonde hair. And it's awesome. Like, hey, sign up for my program and I'll teach you how to be happy for the rest of your life. And I'm like, okay, how do I get higher than him in the search engine optimization? That's not going to work for me.
Hey, man, whatever floats your boat.
I mean, I want to know what this is.
Promise that we'll be happy for the rest of our life.
If I look like him, I'd have my shirt off all the time, too. I keep my shirt on, though. So there you go. But yeah, I've
at this point in my life, I'm thinking of adding more layers of shirts.
More shirts.
Yeah.
Can I get more shirts, please? Yeah, I've had the distinct honor and privilege of being interviewed more times than I probably can actually remember.
Wow.
But this is your favorite, right?
This one absolutely is my favorite. I bet you say that to all the girls, don't you?
Right. Except for the one that...
It's aggressively laid back. Like, if you're not laid back, we kick you off.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about, I know you did a special on the Nintendo, and tell us about this fascination, obsession you have with Nintendo.
That's my jam, man. That's it. I mean, I was that little kid, right, on the playground. It's like, Mario's better than Sonic. I was all about it. Had the NES, had the SNES, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, Wii U, and now the Switch. I've never owned a Virtual Boy, but it's on my list to get one day.
I had one of those. I got it when they were going out of service. I got it for like $20 at Best Buy.
You don't still have it, do you?
I don't. I gave it away. I'm such a dummy. I gave it away.
That's one of the things. So yeah, I've always enjoyed playing Nintendo games. And what's funny is I didn't really consider myself like one of those people that's like Nintendo only and nothing else until like other kids on the play yard started getting all weird about Sega, and it like the whole console wars was really real. It was a real thing. Like, if you played with Nintendo, you played baby games, and you were like, it was a real thing. So like, because of
war actually died.
I am so
that is where I like decided, I guess, for the rest of my life, I'm like, I only play Nintendo games. So like, I don't have any PlayStation or Xbox or anything else. I never have. I don't play anything that's not on a Nintendo system. I don't necessarily, poo-poo any other thing. I just don't engage with it at all, any other system or games. But so I've always been a huge Nintendo gamer. I love Mario and Zelda. I think if I had to choose, I'd probably like Zelda more than Mario if I was forced. But I'm a big fan. I have been dreaming and lobbying for Lego to partner with Nintendo for as long as I can remember. So, of course, when I saw the Mario set announced on Mario Day, which is March 10th, if you didn't know, March 10th is Mario Day. If Star Wars has May the 4th, then Nintendo can have March 10th. I was like, well, I'm all in. And so that's been my Lego budget was allocated
Right.
in March for Nintendo only, and I have not bought a single Lego anything, waiting for the Nintendo stuff to release, and I will be purchasing at least one of everything, including the NES model. But I mean, I don't know if I have any other reason other than I'm just a big fan. I still play the games today. I've been introducing my 6-year-old to the older games. We just beat Super Mario World 2 on the Super Nintendo the other day. Yoshi's Island. So he got to see what Baby Mario was all about, and it's just so great. He's like, "Is that Mario as a baby?" I'm like, it is. And you should have seen his face. The big surprise in that game was that Bowser was the bad guy, but you don't know that till literally the end, because he's Baby Bowser. Baby. And watching his 6-year-old face light up, and he's like, "It's Bowser!" I was like, "Yeah." It was a lot of fun.
So you did a special show, I think, with Beyond the Brick. Were you reviewing it, or what?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It was happenstance, actually, because one of my friends, Brian, who lives in Boston, he works with Beyond the Brick. He does his own streaming and stuff, but he's one of the Beyond the Brick correspondents, as they call themselves. And I had been meaning to visit him for a while because Boston is not terribly far away from where I am. It only takes me 2 hours to get there. And so I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to come see your streaming space," because he rents a studio that he does live streaming from, because he literally live streams almost every day. Wow. And records videos and has video content. So he has a business purpose to have a streaming studio. And I'm like, "I got to see the streaming studio you have." So we set up a date to go hang out, and then he was like, "Hey, so it turns out that I'm actually going to be doing a Beyond the Brick thing on that day at that time. Do you want to just still go with the plan, and instead you'll just be on Beyond the Brick?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess so." So it was like, I guess I'm doing that. But Brian, because he's with Beyond the Brick, they sent him all the Nintendo products early, so that he could do some reviews. So I got to play with all of them on stream with Beyond the Brick. But it was a nice little happenstance that it came together like that.
Was it everything you hoped for?
It's a lot of fun. I'm still hoping for minifigs, but I'll keep that discussion for another day.
So I have just a short side story about the whole Mario thing. Earlier this year, I was working on a Mario Kart 64 mock.
Oh,
and
awesome.
I did a block for it. And the day I released it, I didn't even know it was Mario Day. So I posted it on Instagram. And then just later, I saw the whole partnership with Nintendo. And I'm like, did I do this?
Why doing?
What your careless hands have wrought.
But I think Mario Kart would make perfect poly bags.
Yeah. Do you have the thing that you posted? Is it somewhere in your vicinity?
Yeah, I can bring it up on Studio. It's also on my Instagram. FaceTime Brick Studio.
Nice. Mario Kart 64. It's a simpler time of karting.
Yeah, I remember those days.
So, share my screen quick.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
All right.
Would this be a time to mention that I
Older
never
friends, because
Zelda?
obviously I get about every other word of what you guys are talking about. I admitted on your show once that I have never played a video game that wasn't in an arcade.
Oh, there we go. That's a perfect,
Oh, awesome.
with the balloons. I'm Wario, and I'm gonna win.
Let me 8,400 pieces.
Whoa.
Wow.
So I'm most proud of doing the angle tiling on the top of the forts. And then I decided not to put the brick wall in so I could see everything.
I can hear this image.
8,400? That's as much as my LUT. That's a lot of bricks.
Yeah. Now I guess I can actually build the actual question boxes now with prints.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in using those printed tiles they have for a lot of the bad guys and trying to build them not as blocky, I guess, but I want to use the print. The prints are good. They're good, solid prints. Some of them are a little tough. Like I really don't want my Boo to be a cube. I just really don't. I'm like, this is a flying spherical ghost, and it's now a box. I can't do it. And I'd like to turn it into actual, like its actual shape, but it's a big tile. It's a 6x6 printed tile. Like that's gonna be a big ghost.
Jeez.
So would this be a bad time to mention that I never played Zelda?
Guys, I want to thank you for having me on. Enjoy the rest of your stream, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I was about to say, I think Joe take a walk.
It's all right. I think it's more egregious to say you've never played Mario than Zelda. I think that's like insane.
No, I still think Mario 3 is one of the greatest games ever created.
Oh, so actually, speaking of Mario, I build things. I build mocks sometimes. Up there, there's my original Mario Brothers mock.
Whoa,
which is larger than it looks. But like Mario comes off.
Oh, nice.
And it's double-sided, so you can do it from any side you wish. The same thing with the Goomba. The Goomba comes off, and the that green bush comes off too, so you can transport it a little easier. Mario, whatever. Figure that out later. And then it's because I can't see where the hole is. And actually, behind me is my Super Mario World.
Oh, wow.
So this one, I'll move this. So pay no attention to my rudimentary camera stand. So with this, you can switch out the Mario. So that's of course Super Mario. You can replace them with regular Mario. So if you wanted to switch and put regular Mario instead of Super Mario, but then of course, if you really want to go for the full Super Mario World experience,
Yes.
you put Yoshi with the tongue.
Yeah, I think I
And
just found
this is
part.
it's pretty big actually. This is a pretty large model, but my plan is to do one of these for Super Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario Brothers 3, and then I'm going to stop when I do one for Super Mario 64, and I have no idea how to go about doing it, but I will do it.
Stopping or doing it?
I mean, maybe both. But it's really fun to have them, like when I go to a show like Brick World or whatever, I'll put them on display next to each other, and it's cool just because you get to see the different generations of players appreciate the models for different reasons. And I'd like to have the whole little progression of like 1, 2, 3 world and then 64.
So Sam, zoom in on me so that
Sacrificial Mario.
I think this is not exclusive, but I think this is a new part. It's a
that's the Harry Potter lantern.
Okay.
Oh.
Thanks for playing, Scott. Thanks for playing.
Hey, speaking of which,
It's my show, and I'll swear if I want to.
Speaking of which, I found that my wife actually wants to build. It's that big old Hogwarts castle.
Oh my!
And why is she not building it right now?
I think I'm going to get for the family for Christmas. So that was my question: is how long do you think that thing is still going to be available? Like, should I be panicked and buying one right now?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
That one will probably almost. I mean, it just got back in stock because of quarantine.
Okay.
But every holiday, it's going to be out of stock.
Yeah,
So
they're having so many quantity issues on everything. So
really, see, these are the things I don't know about because I technically just got back into Lego 2 years ago. You know.
it's all right.
And what was your first build?
What was my first build back into the game?
Yeah.
It was the Saturn V.
That
And
was
then
it.
I couldn't stop.
That was the hook.
And then he did his first mock was the LUT.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was my first mock.
Talk about an overachiever.
What was that?
Talk about an overachiever.
I think it's always fun to figure out or hear what somebody, when they've gotten back into the hobby in their adult years, what is the set? Like, what's the set that brings it in? And it's always one. I heard from a fair number of people the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 got a lot of people into it, and I'm like, wow, okay, all right, that's interesting.
Mine's weird. It was 2 years ago. I was severely depressed from getting laid off, and I was just walking down the aisle in Walmart, and I saw the Infinity War Avengers sets.
Okay.
I can make stop motion videos with these. And I'm like, and then it just took off.
Nice.
From there.
Well, I mean, so that was kind of recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've only been doing this as an adult for like 2 years.
Okay.
I think this August will be 2 years. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I found Scott Slug and been bothering him ever since.
Scott Lug.
But I was going to say, spoiler alert about Pirates Bay. There aren't any new pieces in it other than the sails and the printed figs.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And I did build it digitally, and I was able to find everything except for the crates.
Oh, the crates.
Yeah, it might just be me not being able to find them because of Studio's weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also it's an idea set, so they don't use new pieces for those.
Well, yes and no.
Or I should say they discourage you from doing that.
Yeah, it's part of the deal is that they're not supposed to have new elements because the team does not have a budget for new molds. But they have done 2 or 3 times now a little finagling where somehow they have a new mold. The most notable examples was Doctor Who's Sonic Screwdriver, which was made for the Doctor Who set and then repurposed in the Dimensions pack. That's how they were able to finagle that. And then the reissue of the clear, like, giant domed piece for the ship in the bottle, because that element was 100% discontinued to the point of the mold already being destroyed. So that was another finagling, but most of the time, no, they're not supposed to have a new piece.
Actually, I just thought of another one. It's actually in Barracuda Bay. The one of the female figures' hair pieces.
Oh yeah,
that was the first appearance outside the Series 20 custom minifig series.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think there was a female pirate in one of the collectible minifig series.
Also, you broke one of the cardinal rules of this group. We have a British person with us, so you're not allowed to mention Doctor Who, or else he just
he takes the stream.
I am waiting.
Patiently waiting.
Time to chime in with my Doctor Who stuff. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of sci-fi, so I'm allowed to make fun of other sci-fi things. I think that's how it goes, right?
I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, but I've never watched a single episode in my life.
Me
Yeah.
either.
Okay, now I'm offended.
That's fine. Hey, that's fair. All fair in love and nerd culture.
Yeah.
My daughter wants to get me into it as well. So
It's worth it.
So, Joe,
Yes.
this is one for you. Going back to what got people back into Lego, Kyle commented, and he says the Saturn V and Joe's LUT got me back into Lego.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Good
And
job.
now currently designing a 1/110 scale vehicle assembly building for Joe's LUT and crawler.
Okay. Okay. I recognize this guy, and you're insane, Kyle. Don't do it. It'll just destroy your life.
Don't
have
do
you
it.
seen the interior shots he's been doing? They're
I feel like this is one of those from the newer Star Wars movies, the Luke Skywalker moment. You're like, I've seen this power once before, Kyle. It didn't scare me before, but it scares me now. Don't do it.
Well, Kyle, thank you very much for getting my LUT, and let me know how that's going if you had any issues with it.
That's super awesome. Like, you should be really proud that that's getting someone into a hobby. Like, that's pretty amazing. Good work. Excellent job there.
Thank you. It's just like getting people into heroin, right?
A little bit. It's a little bit of a gateway. It's a little bit.
I'm simultaneously proud and, oh no, how many lives have I ruined? How many lives have I destroyed?
Was it worth it?
And
What did it cost?
what did they
what are the costs?
Yeah, I think we've all felt like that at some point.
Okay,
I know my spouse has.
here we go, everyone.
I have successfully added a new bottom floor to this tower.
Here, let's,
Although I need a
pull 'em up.
window pieces. But yeah, I basically duplicated and extended the bottom floor.
There we go.
Oh, that's right.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
So I only used the pieces that made the original bottom floor and the original second floor. So I should be able, I'm going to duplicate this floor here in the center, which is going to be a little tricky because they start adding this archway in. So I probably can take these pieces here to help alleviate this and basically make a hybrid floor between these two. And maybe I can add another balcony up here as well. But yeah.
Have you do you follow any of the folks that were on the Lego Masters show at all?
I've met, or I shouldn't say I've met. I'm friends with on YouTube.
Okay, I was gonna ask you I was specifically gonna ask you if you had seen his tower.
I did see it, yeah.
I think he won an award for that at Philly Brick Fest, I think.
Nice.
So, just Joe, briefly, I just want to share this with you. Kyle's just said he's posted in Bricks in Space. So let me just show you what he's posted. And yeah.
Yes. Oh God, I gotta just prevent myself from building that.
Wait, what scale is this in?
That's
1/110.
Yeah, that's 1/110.
But
That's
it gets
the
better.
scale of the Saturn V.
Yeah, the inside is what's insane.
And that's
Look
my
at that on the inside in that LU and even the LUT there.
That's impressive. What does it
yeah.
cost? Like,
5 as well.
so this is all digital, right? This is like planning phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those projects. This is like, I had a car once, and now I have this awesome model.
I used to have a family.
That's really
That's
nice.
really impressive. That is.
Slick.
Oh wow!
Slick.
120,000 pieces.
How much is it?
Oh, is that all?
120,000 brick.
Yeah,
You
and I
got
think
that,
my
Jay?
8,600 is huge, but no.
Man. But that's the stuff like that. Those are the type of models that you go to like a show, and then you just stand there and you're standing there in a little circle with 3 other people and none of you are saying anything. And you're all just staring at it. And then someone says like, it's pretty good.
I think that was me after I finished the Saturn V with Scott at the Museum of the Flight. I just stood there for like 10 minutes looking up at the top of it going, yeah.
You don't even say anything. There's nothing you can say.
No, it's even weirder when you build that thing and you stand back and go, "Oh God, what have I done?
What have I done?"
Oh no!"
He looked upon his creation and was pleased.
I was.
All shall love me in despair.
So
Okay,
I do
well,
have a little backstory to how I met Kevin. So the first time I met Kevin was 2013 or 2012 at Brickwell. And my friend and I, Chris Hettinger, wanted to start the Iowa Lug. I'm one of those weirdos that has started 2 lugs in my career. And
You liked it so much, he did it again.
Yeah. And so we talked to you about this project, and the community build project system was just coming out, and we were one of the first ones to do that. And this is what we showed in 2013 that you helped wrought, I guess. So this was the Science Center of Iowa project that Chris and I did. Chris was the primary. This would be, I think, my first mock. So again, diving into the deep end, but I was more the structural engineer. Chris did a lot of the exterior, but the reason that it could actually be built, and then the kids that helped build it are on all those signs around the bottom. But one of the interesting things is you'll see that little white space behind us, and all of a sudden one morning this showed up.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
Wow.
Kevin?
Yeah, that was the year we announced that, right?
Exactly. And it's like, what is this? You know, that Chris and I were going, what is this? And then I think you stopped by and said, you know, this, you had built it in the hotel room, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you the story about that?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So yeah, once upon a time, in the golden age, in the golden years, Lego actually had a number of years where they would send physical copies of the big high price point products that were yet to be announced for a public unveiling at Lego shows. They do not do that anymore. They stopped doing that several years ago. But there was a long stretch of time where sets like the Opera House, the Simpsons house, the original Haunted House, a lot of the modular buildings, Cafe Corner, Green Grocer, they had these grand public unveilings at these high affinity shows like Brick World and BrickCon and Brick Fair, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's like that's the perfect audience to unveil like that. So at that particular show, the product that was yet to be announced was the Sydney Opera House, the gigantic at the time. I mean, that size of that model has been beaten several times over by now, but at the time that was a huge model. And so they're like, Kevin, we want you to unveil this at Brick World Chicago, so you need to take it. Now a set like that is going to take you like 10 hours to build. What am I supposed to do? Show up and build it in my hotel room? So I built it at home, which is what you usually do. And I'm like, all right, somehow I need to get this set to the show intact. So I built it, and then I took it apart into 2 sections: the base and like the blue and dark tan, and then everything else. It's like the building's off. They weren't really meant to do that. but I took them off and I very carefully bubble wrapped it like nobody's business. The sail part, I wasn't necessarily worried about the base because it was pretty sturdy, but I bubble wrapped that. And I put in my checked luggage, the base with all my clothes and stuff. And then the sail part of it, I had a own roller bag that I was like, this needs to stay on my person at all times. That had like sails in it. So I'm flying to Chicago from Connecticut, and I get to one of those small regional aircrafts. And they go, we're sorry, you must all check your bags. And I'm like, I cannot check this bag. This bag has to stay with me. You don't understand what's in it. And they weren't having it. So I gave it to them, and I sat there like a sad child, and I watched as they took my bag down the stairs. They went over to the little conveyor, and I watched the guy throw it on the conveyor belt. And I'm like,
oh no.
So I get to Chicago. I don't look at it. I already know. I'm like, let me get up to my room. I get up to my room and I open it up, and it literally looks like a play bucket. Like I open up and it's like bubble wrapped and like a bin of bricks, right? I'm like, oh goodness me. And it's not like I had a lot of leisure time. It's like I wasn't sitting there to be like, hey, go have fun for a few days in Chicago. Like I'm there to work. So I'm like, I gotta be at the show like tomorrow. And I'm here like late afternoon, evening. And so I'm like, there's no way. This model took me like 14 hours to build. And so I went downstairs to the show because there's people already there. There's people there for a week. And I'm like, I need to find some people that are here that also work for Lego. That's what I need to find. So I started looking around, and I found some store employees that work because there's like 4 or 5 local Lego stores in the area. And I found a little gaggle of Lego store employees that were there. And I'm like, okay, all of you, I need to deputize you all on behalf of the corporate office. And so they're like, okay, you will come with me. I will take you to an undisclosed location. So I took them all. It was like a group of like 4 people. I took them all up to my hotel room. And I'm like, what you are about to see has not been unveiled or shown or discussed anywhere. Because, I mean, the store employees don't usually get much more advanced notice than the public get. And so I'm like, this is the Opera House. And of course, you're like, that is a pile of bricks. It is. And so I was like, here's the deal. I already built this once, and it took me like 15 hours. Here are the instructions. I need all of you to please help me build this. So I let them take all of the parts and the instructions back downstairs to the show, and they were able to get in one of those like little hidden admin rooms that Brickworld rents for the show, and they all huddled around it and frantically rebuilt it. And I think they had like 4 hours until opening ceremonies when I had to show it off. They did. And what's funny is I went in there and I'm like, okay, did you guys fix it for me? And they go, we did. Here you go, though, Kevin. We don't know where any of these go. And it was a handful of parts like this. And I had no extra parts. There wasn't. It's like it was the model. I built the finished built model. So they gave it to me, and I'm holding the handful of parts, and I go, take the lid off of that thing. And so they like took the one of the clear window pieces off, and I just go, and I poured into inside the little building in the middle with the sails on it. And I'm like, all right, we're good. Let's go. And we went out there, and it was like the grand, and of course everyone nobody noticed, nobody cares. But it was really funny because I'm like, how am I going to fix this building? If I didn't have the help of those folks, it would not have happened. I'm like, well, oh well.
Yeah. Here's the pieces.
And of course, I remember talking about this issue with people in the company going like, I don't understand what you guys would have wanted me to do. And they're like, well, you should have hired the model shop to build and glue the model together for you. That's what we do when we do press events and stuff. And I'm like, well, first of all, I do want to build it. Who doesn't want to build it? It's fun. I can see what the set's about. And I'm like, do you realize that my audience is going to ask me, what are the new parts in it? What, that's what they're going to ask. And if I don't build it, I'm not going to know. Like, this is the reason why you guys fall on your face all the time. You don't know those answers to those questions.
Hmm.
So I'm like, so there's that. Second of all, if I hire the model shop, that means I have to use my team's budget to hire a master builder to build and glue the model, which is actually stupidly expensive. It's like, I'm not going to, allocate $300 of my team's budget that I'm supposed to be using on community support to glue a model together. That's so stupid. It's so dumb. But of course, that was the way. That's how you should do it.
And we're coming down, but I want you to tell this story too, because I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that is good. Oh man, memories.
Yeah.
So yes, when I hit my 10-year anniversary at Lego, Lego gives you a gift. I actually have it. Hold on. They give you a present.
I wonder if the present has anything to do with Legos.
Always.
Okay, so this is what they give you. They give you a brick built Danish guardsman. So it's mounted to a plaque.
Wow.
There's a couple cobwebs on it. Pay no attention to that. It's got my name engraved. So this is what they give you, and this is cool. Don't get me wrong. This is neat. But I was like, man, I really wish that I had a community gift, right? Like something that represents the company is, that's the company. But the community, I'm here for the fans, right? So let me get one more prop. I'll be right back.
Hey, while he's gone, I'm actually done with this Atlas V. I'm really actually quite impressed at it.
Oh, and also I understand that Flo, who was our German intern many moons ago, has joined us. So hi, Flo.
Hello, Flo.
Oh,
And Leah Chan has joined us as well.
oh,
Hello, Leah.
Oh, hi, Leo.
Yeah, so I got my guardsmen, and I was like, I'd love to have something that really represents the community, though. Like, that's really where I've gotten the most enjoyment in my time. Like, literally half of my time at Lego was spent in community management and community relations. So I reached out to Simon Liu, who's one of my, I think one of the most inspirational builders and also a good friend. And I'm like, Simon, I need you to build me something to commemorate 10 years of basically dealing with you guys. And so I gave him no direction. I just said, make something for me that represents 10 years of community management. So he's like, all right, Kevin, I made you this hammer. Here you go. And so he made Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. That's got my initials in it.
Wow.
And he delivered it to me at Brick Fair, Virginia. But there was a condition that I was not aware of. He said he would not let me take it unless I destroyed someone's build with it. And of course, the whole thing behind this is it's the community ban hammer. When community members mess up, you gotta throw the hammer down. That's what you gotta do, and you gotta do it sometimes. It just has to happen. And he had been there for some of those moments where I had to throw the hammer down. So if you go on YouTube and you search Hinkle Hammer Smash, you will find the video. And I'm not kidding. He wouldn't let me take this. He's like, "You're not gonna have it." I'm like, "But it's mine." He's like, "No." And then there is a broken 2x4 brick that it rests in as a stand.
Yeah.
He presented a model that he promised me up, down, left, and right that it was okay I destroy it with. Because I was like, I can't do that. What's wrong with you? He's like, no, it's my spaceship. I built it. I want you to destroy it with my hammer. I'm the only one who's gonna like be upset about it, and I'm not upset about it. And I'm like, okay. So there is a spectacular video from 2 different angles of me destroying the spaceship with this hammer. This is the same hammer. He repaired it. It does have some battle damage on it, but the blast from the spaceship is just absolutely amazing. You might be able to. I could probably get that clip real quick because you could show it. I mean, it wouldn't have the sound, but you could show it.
I just got to meet Simon at Bricks Cascade, and I really liked that this was the brick he gave me because I was right next to him.
Oh, nice. I'm going to science. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. And
all right, I threw the link.
I was displaying the Saturn V next to him, so it was very, very appropriate.
Yeah, Simon's up in Toronto. He is, I think, another one of those true pillars of the community, and I do not use that word lightly. He is very connected in a lot of different community efforts, and he is incredibly supportive of just about anything the community is doing, whether it's a charity event or a live stream or a show. He's helped organize and run a Lego convention in Toronto. He has helped many years with different things at Brick Fair and at Brick World and at BrickCon. Like, that guy is one of the greats. He is one of the greats.
And he did a collaborative build that was just incredible. So,
absolutely. So yeah, I threw in the private chat the link to the video. I mean, you don't need to watch. It's only 5 minutes long, but the meat of the situation is at like the 3-minute mark, and it's pretty funny. We tried to like recreate a little scene where I had other people try to lift the hammer, and only I was capable of lifting it.
Cool.
So
I think we're wrapping up the show here now.
We are. So I want to thank you, Kevin, for coming on my show. It's been lovely to catch up.
Absolutely.
And I do encourage anybody, if Kevin's on a show, get on it. It's always fun. You have a way of making things. You're very good at making sure people play well together.
I try my best, but they push back hard, let me tell you.
Right. So again, a little preview for next week. It's going to be a very unusual show if we pull it off. So basically, Matthew Nolan and Valerie Roche have agreed to be on. Valerie probably won't because English is definitely not her first language. In fact, she doesn't speak English at all. So Matthew is going to be kind of speaking for the team. And they did the original LUT. They now have the Goddard rocket, on ideas. They've had several. They're in the 10,000 club. So they, again, are really icons within the space NASA theme. Of course, trying to connect Sydney, Australia, Boise, Idaho, the UK, and France.
You're making an enemy somewhere.
Yeah. So it is going to be our first attempt on a recorded show, which is another reason I upgraded StreamYard so I can record it, and then we'll play it at the normal time. And Sam has agreed to stay up very, very late.
See, someone's an enemy. You've made one enemy today.
It's a little more reasonable, Joe, because I know you'd like to be on there, and hopefully Sam Bedford could join us too. The people that live in space. Bradford, yeah. So again, we're trying to pull that off. I just wrote a note to myself that I think Simon needs to be on this show.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
I will, because he is a rocket scientist, right? So I think he's actually nuclear, but yeah,
he's a smart guy too. But we just focus on the Lego stuff.
Right. So anyway, hopefully we get that pulled off. So next week is going to be a little unusual for those that join us. So I will put out an email sooner than later because we'll actually be recording on, is it Thursday night or Friday night? I think it's
Thursday night.
Thursday night,
who you're asking.
which is Friday morning.
Exactly.
So yeah, the whole time math just really it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks everybody. I appreciate it. I guess see my face one last time. I should
Face reveal.
face reveal. Again, like this, like the video, like the or subscribe to my channel. I'd love it. Anyway, we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.